Hello, everybody, again. Thank you for staying until the end of the conference. When I started to, do you think? Oh, thanks. When I started working on my presentation, I was looking to the PDF program from last year to see what kind of challenges we were discussing in 2015. And looking to the current NGO and world situation, we can say that not a lot of things has changed, unfortunately. We still have ongoing war in Ukraine. We are facing huge political crisis, huge crisis of the European Union and European Union institutions. But this sentence has never been so valid as it is right now in Central and Eastern Europe. We can't trust our governments, we don't trust our governments. The political landscape has tremendously changed in the last year. Looking at Poland, Slovakia, looking at Hungary, there are more and more, the governments are more and more radical and much more authoritarian than they ever been. When Kuba Wegnański was talking today about solidarity, so the huge Polish union which was started here in Shipyard, I recalled that it was only in 2008, so just 8 years ago, when we were organizing a conference here and we're talking about the future of Polish NGOs and about social economy, we were thinking that democracy is something for granted, that this situation is going just to evolve to the bright and beautiful future, but we were very wrong, because it looks that civil society is threatened. And if we can't trust the government, can we trust open society? Why would we trust an open society? What makes us different from the government and from business? And my answer to is that values. This is the difference. We don't do this for money. We don't do it for power. We do it because we believe that there are some values that are worth sharing, that are worth pursuing, that are worth fighting. Like in Ukraine, people go on the street because they believe that it's worth to basically sacrifice your life for values you believe in. And looking at this specific crowd here, NGOs, activists, hackers, people who are working on accountability and transparency in technology, I picked those three values because I thought that this is something that most of us probably share. So openness, disruption, innovation, these are new things. They're like 20 years ago, nobody was using disruption or innovation terms. But when I look closer, I realized that these values are our challenges. Because are we really open or are we creating monopolies? Are we so open with sharing our own invention? Are we talking so often to colleagues? Do we have really solid partners? Do we like collaboration? Another thing, disruption. Are we disruptive or are we staying in the comfort zone? Because, for instance, we have funders who support our program and changing the program, putting our organization under a huge risk. Or because we are missing some money to pay our employees. Another thing, innovation. I'm wondering what innovation is. Are we innovative or are we reinventing the wheel? Are we doing non-stop the same things? And starting, for instance, technology applications from the scratch. Well, there are already existing solutions, but we don't know how to share them, or we don't want to share them. And technology, because I guess that this is also a topic that we need to tackle when we talk about challenges. Do we trust in technology? Should we trust in technology? And here, my answer is that my feeling is that technology becomes a buzzword, a remedy for anything we can imagine, that we think that we can push the button and it's going to solve a lot of problems. But sometimes my feeling is that we are creating invention for the sake of creating them, that there is nothing behind, that we are just focusing on tools instead of thinking about what kind of impact those tools are going to have for the society. And recently, I was reading an interview with Zygmunt Bauman, who is my favorite Polish sociologist, who lived through Holocaust, who lived through communism. Most probably, he was going to cinema to watch silent movies. And this is what he thinks about social network. he believes that we are just shadow of ourselves. And when I read this, I just thought that this reminds me of our world, that we are kind of living in our silos, NGO silos, and that we are so disconnected with people, with citizens, that we are thinking that we have all those solutions, remedies, applications, conferences, but where are citizens? How many of you have access actually to citizens? Because my thinking is if we are so great in supporting and building open society, then why we have radical governments? Why there are no values? Why the values that used to be values are not valuable anymore? Where is tolerance? Where is solidarity? And it's not that the government is bad. The government is representing nations. They are representing us. So I feel that there is a lot of work that we should do in order to be better connected and in order to have a bigger, let's say, influence. And the other thing is, these are internal challenges, and I feel very strongly that we have to face our own weaknesses to be better in our work. But there are also external challenges. And this is something that I feel that it must be said very openly and loudly, that open society and NGOs are in danger. In some countries, this repression takes a form of radical forms, like people are just simply going to jail because of their social activity. But in other countries, we are facing a bit smarter game and more sophisticated. And this game is a big propaganda game. So there is more and more political influence when it comes to media, especially, of course, I'm talking here about Central and Eastern Europe. And you can look at open society organizations as, call them NGOs, researchers, social enterprises, think tanks, activists, hackers, but you can also call them in a different way. And I'm sure that many of you have heard it, that you are Soros mercenary, that you are foreign agents, that you are threats, that you are grant hunters, that you are the worst sort of the society, that you are criminals. So we have to face the situation in which the new political class has a huge, powerful instrument, which are media, which are affecting us, which are trying to put open society organization, expel them and put them on the margin of the society and take them away from the public debate. And if we disappear, the question is, who is going to create the counterbalance to what the government is doing in this part of the world? So what we need to change this, we need power and strength. And I would like to take this as an opportunity to be very open and I can even say blunt, to say that we need support. Otherwise, we're going to lose our right and ability to continue our work on open society. And this power and strength, it's not only about money. This is really a call to action to everybody who has influence, to politicians, to journalists, to decision makers, to funders, to donors. Why? Because we cannot win this game by ourselves, because we are endangered. It has never been so visible as it is right now. Thank you.